Welcome to another episode
Hey!
of Show. And there's three of us now. Woo!
Yeah, the triumvirate. That's a thing, isn't it?
I like that. That's good.
Yes, the triumvirate.
See, I had like all these Captain Planet things going on in my head. You know, we let our powers combine, but I'm just a bit of a dork, so.
Glad to hear it.
So yeah, everyone, tonight we're talking with Leigh Chalker, the inventor of Battle for Bustle Marathon and a contributor or co-writer of Rosie, Ring Around the Rosie. Sorry, I always call it by the nickname. Sorry about that. So yeah, tonight the intro is still old, so we're going to do something a bit different. We're going to go back to where it all started, where Leigh started as his own master. We're going back to Battle for Bustle 1.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Welcome to the city of Bustle, my home of 32 years. I met my wife here. My son was born here. I live in the poor and wretched industrial depths. In these filthy lower levels, sunlight is a luxury we know nothing about.
And we have Leigh.
There he is.
Hey.
Hello, how you doing?
Good,
Hey.
Yeah, it's
Ooh,
good. It's
amazing.
lovely to see three friendly faces. So it's nice to be here. Good stuff. And that's a great intro. Thanks very much for that. I really enjoyed that. That was
It
cool.
made me want to read issue 1 again, which
Oh,
I
yeah.
can do because
Hey, you got. Oh, look at that. Hey,
I have it here.
Look, oh, there's another one on you.
Oh,
Hey,
right.
how's that?
Variant.
Excellent.
I failed the 3.
No, that's
I mean,
all
that-
right. It's been a while
Mine's
since
very
I've read.
deep because it's one of the first comics I got, so it's at the bottom of the pile.
Well, that's good because that means you've been, like supporting the old comics, mate, and getting out there and getting amongst it and keeping comics ticking along and going. So that's the best
Yeah,
thing.
well, you're one of the first people I reached out to when I started the whole ComX thing. So
Yeah. Long time ago now, but not
Yeah,
really
it's been a
that
while.
long. But yeah,
it
it's
feels
sorta-
like a long time.
It does. Lots have happened in that period, man. So yeah.
Well,
Yeah, it's
Shane,
crazy.
you've gone through a beard and then back again in that time. What, twice?
Oh, at least 3 or
Gone.
4 times, definitely. And we got the huge one. We got the
Yeah,
massive one
massive
from
one.
the intro.
We do.
Look at that.
Oi, look at that.
Look at that.
There you go.
I like that. That's good.
I got to say, the
It will
sideward glances are
return.
a little bit worrying. The sideward glances kind of suggest something's going on underneath the thing that you can't see, which I'm not sure about. Anyway.
That could be a whole segment later on in the show, mate. What's happening under the table?
So no pants.
Pants
Yeah,
optional. Speaking of pants optional, let's go in real deep, real quick, real early.
Yep.
So it's really good actually that we showed the first the trailer for the first issue, because it would be good, I reckon, to go right back to the origins of Battle for Bustle, your journey with comic creation, because I'm only young at this sort of thing, but I've spoken to a lot of comic creators now, and I have never met anyone close to your level of devotion and the amount of effort that you have put into the story and the work that you've done is just kind of unparalleled. The only parallel I can think of, and I don't know anything about the guy personally, except he's a bit of a nutbag, but we might remember that one, Jodorowsky. And
Yes.
Mobius being the artist, of course.
Yes.
So your stuff reminds me of Mobius, which is really cool, but also just the amount of effort and thought and everything that goes into it. So why don't we start with tell us where the origin of Battle for Bustle came from, and then you've shown us a tantalizing view. No one's seen this yet, but you've shown us a tantalizing view of some of the artifacts from your early journey. So let's start with talking, and then maybe we can see some stuff.
All right. I can start. I'm an only child, so I had plenty of time to myself. My father was a comic book collector. Always used to get comic books. I used to read them with him and stuff. Took to drawing, fell in love with. Dad was an amazing Spider-Man nut, so I grew up with very early Ditko, John Romita, all through John Romita Jr., then into like Web of Spider-Man, that sort of Charles Vest covers, and basically anything that Dad could get his hands on, he veered off into Avengers, Iron Man, Uncanny X-Men, all of those sorts of things. So as to read them to me, and it was like an audio book. So he'd have the pages when I was very young, and he'd talk and have different voices, and he'd make the sound effects and stuff, you know. And the love started there. So obviously I was sporty as a kid, but also very art orientated. My family was split down the middle. I was encouraged to do both, so I juggled that. So what I used to do is, much to Dad's horror, is I used to trace over a lot of the covers and stuff like that, and create my own versions of these covers. And you know, there'd be some horrified screams, of course, but you know, that's just what you do as a kid.
Yeah.
And always sort of loved, you know, books and history. Always wanted to do my own story and stuff. And basically, just over time, just used to sit down, watching movies, doodling characters, drawing away, that sort of stuff. And it was just something I wanted to do. And in 1998, my father passed away. And with that, I guess, Battle for Bustle at the start was called Drive. It was an ode to Dad. There's a 24-page comic book that's floating around, which was a stream of consciousness. Big splash pages, what I was feeling at the time, words written into the artwork and stuff like that. I do have plans on bringing that comic book out.
That was going to be my next question. When are we going to see Drive?
So people that are interested can get a real touch and taste of what that was about and where it started. And then I guess over a period of time, you know, just fell in love with novels and things like that. I had an injury probably in about 1999, 2000, which basically I went crazy. I read about 45, 50 books in a year. All of those were like things like the Dune series and, you know, varying, you know, artifacts of historical reference and stuff like that. Just sort of went crazy, as developed, you know, soaking up as much stuff as I could. And then I decided this, you know, it was gurgling away. And just 24 pages with, I fell in love with depth and detail and, you know, like intricacy. And I sort of started thinking like, man, I've got a lot of feelings here. I'm an angry kid. Dad went too soon. I got to get it out, you know. And I started doing Battle for Bustle. It wasn't called Battle for Bustle at the time. It went from Drive to just being called Bustle. About the city in which I grew up in. So Battle for Bustle is actually, in its strange way, based on Townsville. A lot of the streets that I mention in the comic book are actual streets in Townsville and stuff like that. A lot of the building designs are actually buildings and stuff like that in Townsville. So I've sort of kept as much of the architecture and stuff as I can to my heart, to my hometown. And yeah, it just sort of developed over time, 10 years, probably in about 2009, I hit it, as in I thought like this is, now you got to remember where we're at with Battle for Bustle is actually the third version, okay, of Battle for Bustle that I've done. So I was telling the guys before, Pete wasn't here, and don't mind that growling because anyone that's seen me on these shows before knows that's Izzy and Lloyd carrying on in the background because they're my wingman and wing lady. They're always in the studio with me. But I just wanted to do something a little bit different. and show some people, because I've been digging up things, because the last time I was on with you guys, Morgan floated the idea of like an art book or something that went back into the history of Bustle and things. So I've spent the better part of this year going through a lot of stuff, hundreds and thousands of pages and folders and things. So
Cool.
that is great.
right. So basically I'll show you this one here, because in
Volume 1.
no, well, this is something slightly different. But in 2007, and I totally forgot this, on the 30th of November, I actually submitted a very raw version of Battle for Bustle, only known as Bustle then, to Dark Horse Comics. So I can't show you everything that's there, but that is the letter. And coming up, the original black and white covers and bits and bobs that I was doing at the time. So notes to myself, like covers that I was working on. That's the actual comic book in there, the original issue 1. That's issue 2. That's issue 3 and issue 4, which you might recognize that original piece of artwork, which is now the painted cover of issue 3. That's how long some of this artwork's been around for. That's issue 5, which you may recognize. So these were sent off to Dark Horse and subsequently, see you later, try again. But that's okay, because I'm a determined little bastard, and I thought, buggy up, I'm going to keep going. So what I did is this one. Now, this one here is, I'll show you as best as I can and as quick as I can. This was when it was called Drive.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
These are the original layouts and sketches, notes to begin the, here's character designs, vehicle designs.
Oh, it is so cool that you've got this.
All the original script, as you can see, synopsis for the whole series, notes that go back. And this is some of the original artwork, as you can see, was very stream of conscious. You'll probably recognize some of it. I'll pull a little bit out so you can all have a better look.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Predominantly all handwritten too, lettering, I will tell you, which took a long time. So, I started off doing it really old school. And then I decided that once volume 1 was done, I was going to be an idiot and go off and create volume 2, which none of you have ever seen. So this is... Righto. So this is the next quadrant of the story, and here's all these notes, and there's script for varying other things, and what I was looking at, character designs, Arafets, people that you may recognize, and if you're lucky, which I might just hold this looking for you, I might be able to, if we're lucky here this evening, be able to find you the original Hanson, which
my favorite.
Here you go. That's a very random Hibiki gecko, which I was changing out. I've actually got artwork from her from 1996 that I was doing.
Wow.
But bear with me here, peeps. If he's in here, I'll So where is he? See, some of this artwork goes back to 1995.
Wow.
So there's characters that haven't been introduced here, like that will be coming up. Oh, he's coming. He's coming. He can't let me down. Come on, man. Don't let me down here, brother. And so no, I've been doing it an awfully long time, Morgan. But basically the reason I've dug these up is, because the last time I was with you guys, you got me thinking about a whole heap of artwork and the original story ideas and things. I mean, man, there's stuff in here I can't even remember doing. There you go. Here we go.
Oh,
That there is the
wow.
original picture of Lennox Hansen, and that was done on the 22nd of the 10th, 1996.
Awesome.
So
Wow.
there you go.
I love you've dated it and everything. Wow.
Yeah, all dated. So yes, that's
So
yeah.
I had hair when Hanson was conceived.
So
That's-
did I.
That's how long ago it was. Yep. I had a big
Yeah.
thing of hair. Yep. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
that's
dude.
all there. That's all there. I'd love to
That's
be able to
amazing.
show you a bit more, but we only have so much time. So you know,
See, I'm
that's how it is.
picturing something that thick
Yeah.
with, I mean, this is me saying it, not doing any of the work. That's a hell of a lot of work to put that together. But I'm picturing something that thick with original artwork, your thoughts on what you were thinking when this story idea came in. That whole thing would be amazing.
Yeah.
You would crush Kickstarter with that thing, my friend. You
Yeah,
would
the
crush
scary
it. You
part
would
is
own
though,
it.
it might be seen as a bit self-indulgent though, Morgan, because it'd be one hell of a big book, man. Let me tell you, and it might break my heart to leave things out. So
Bigger
Oh,
the better. I reckon that's fantastic.
I'm definitely thinking about it, mate. So it's, but
Yeah.
you know, again, it's a lot of work, and I'm trying to balance myself at the moment with some changes in life and things. So you know, I'm not trying to overload myself, mate, and try and find a measure and peace in the work, if you know what I mean. But I am thinking about it every day, and as you can tell, dragged up, brought up, and just wanted to show you guys tonight. So, because I thought you might be interested. So,
Yeah, that was awesome.
yeah, and then from there, it just back injury, the new artwork, and Tamera knew all of this stuff, and she'd been there, had read it and encouraged me, and then before you know it, we became a pair that can't be pulled apart now. So it's it is where it is now, and happy with how everything's going with Battle for Bustle. So yeah, all good, enjoying it. So it's a lot of work though, but one day it will be finished.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the good thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, Kickstarter is exhausting, but but the good thing about that and about ComX and the Aussie community and all that sort of stuff is we kind of all enjoy the process. There's something great about not getting everything up front and being part of the story, and then a year goes by and another issue comes out, and you think, okay, great, now this is giving me an excuse to go back to the beginning, and I'll reread, and particularly with your stuff, because it's so detailed and there's so much nuance to it. So you're kind of looking for an excuse to go back again. It's not, it's not that sort of thing that's, onerous to do that. Do I get a point for using onerous? Is that do I get a
Yeah,
point?
no, I'll give you a point for that. I like that. I haven't heard that word in a while.
Very
So,
good.
yeah.
Thank you.
Double thumbs up to you, Morgan. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, man, because it's the things that I've enjoyed, the artwork and stuff. I like to think I put a lot of work into this stuff. So I like hearing that people look at it and go back to it and stuff. That's really, I guess, one of the nicest things people can say about the work is when I hear that they've gone back and reread it. So that makes me feel good about that. So thank you. And
you can see the passion very, very easily and very very apparent. But there's a depth that, so some writers, artists, lots of stuff, and I would probably count myself in this group. The thing driving it is the idea. There'll be a singular idea, and I just have to get this idea out, and it's rush, get it in, get it out, and this is the story and the idea and all that sort of stuff. Whereas your stuff, I think it's so it's like a wine that's aged over time, or a brandy, or a brandy whiskey is what I mean. Something that's aged over time and grown and developed, and just hearing what you've gone through to get to this version, it makes so much sense because you've lived with these characters and developed them, and it's such a rich piece of work, which is why I go back to I think people would love essentially the more you show, I think the more people will love it. I think there's a tendency as artists sometimes to be a little bit like, is it just self-aggrandizing? Are they really going to want to? Are they going to care about this sort of stuff? But I think people will be drawn because of your passion and how much effort you've put into this thing, and just the work, and even every page and every panel, you can just see the blood, sweat, and tears. I'd be surprised if there's a smudge of red, not a smudge of red on every third or fourth,
Mate, there's bits of red here and there, but as Dave Dye tell you, there's definitely some sepia in there from the amount of cigarette ash that I've tapped into the old grey wash water. Yes, there is a little bit of colour in there, but yeah. Oh, look, man, it's just been a compulsion, really. I've had times in my life where I haven't touched it. I've had times in my life where I've been heartbroken by it. But something just pulls me back. And I think essentially what it is, I can't be sure, but it's just something I have to finish. And the older I get, I used to get impatient with it, and I used to try and rush things, and I used to try and push things too much, and, even put things out, if a piece of artwork within myself I knew wasn't ready to go, but, I still put it out anyway. And it's just, if I do nothing else after Battle for Bustle is done, then that is me happy. I don't need it to sell 1 million copies, mate. I don't need it to, I get beautiful letters and emails and stuff from kids that read it. I meet people that come to my house to collect the comic book and talk to me about how much they enjoy it. I've met so many people through ComX and, the Australian industry in general, people I never thought that I would even get close to even communicating with, let alone, people I've admired from afar that I've got the opportunity now and, to call friends, people that I can, ask questions of and be mentored by and things like that, the opportunity. So from me being a little kid that all he wanted to do, and you do have those ideas of, I want to make a movie and I want to make a TV show. I guess in a really weird way, the most important thing for me is to just finish the story, because these characters are the most important thing to me. And once I get to issue 9 and it's done, at that stage, I'll see how much gas is left in the tank, because with one page, I can continue it on, or without that page, I can let it stop right there and then. And at this point, mate, I'm just trying to battle on and just keep going with it. But sometimes I can get sidetracked by rather exciting little projects that do pop up from time to time. But yeah, that's and I guess the strange thing is, the original title was called Drive. So it's just the drive, mate. I wish I had drive in other segments of my life, but, this is the one that stuck with me, and this is the one that keeps me going in its own way, mate. So it's lots of time by myself, lots of time thinking, lots of time reflecting, and putting it into artwork and creativity, which is at the end of the day has made me very, very happy in life, mate. Thank you, Dave. You're a champion. Good that he's a champion, that man. Love that guy. Yeah. So that's where it is with Bustle.
Very good. Very good. So I might I'm conscious I've been monopolizing the questions, so I might hand over to Peter, or Sizzle won't have anything, but I'll give you a warning, Sizzle.
He's got a list of old questions.
You got to have one question tonight, Sizzle. I'm just letting you know. Anything you wanted to ask?
Yeah. So I reread all your stuff over the last couple of days, really bulked up on my Chalker research. Great job. If you ever get to reread comics and then talk about them, do it. So I guess you kind of touched on it with how long you've been developing and just thinking about Bustle. But I think one thing that was really reflected is something that not a lot of writers do that well, or they focus on too much, and that's the world building, the environment. Bustle feels like a really tangible, horrific, but very real place. You've got slang in there that all the civilians use. and just the sheer intricacy of all your background art, which is staggering. So my question is, how awesome is that?
Peter, you know how many pages that no one has ever seen, man, that like are piled over in those boxes and stuff, man. But
Wow.
thank you for rereading them and thank you very much, man, for that. You're probably it's a lot of time going into it. I guess the reflection of Bustle was a reflection of my questions, horrors, positives, negatives about the world, like about my hometown, seeing, like my thoughts about societies and where we're heading and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just one of those things, mate, that, that was my medium, I guess. And I sort of just threw everything at it. And that's why it took so long, because, man, I just got flush with so many ideas over the years that, like I was being drawn into this and drawn into that, and drawn into this. And I was like, I could do this, I could do that, I could add to it. No, that's not working. Push it aside, restart again. And, I've in the last year or two, I've settled on everything now. But I don't want to... I don't want the world of Bustle to be seen as negative or horrific, because essentially it's a story of love. And it's an uplifting story about, like what love, and I mean, this sounds crazy, I guess, but we all love, whatever it is, whoever it may be. But, love's a driving force in anything, mate. And it is a story of love. It's a story of passion. It's a story of rebellion. It's a story of, like authoritarianism, all of those things that I'd like to think there's a quadrant of some segment of the story that someone can grasp. And, like, which side do you want to be on? Do you want to be a rebel? Do you want to be an authoritarian? Do you want to be I like having people think. So I probably think too much, Pete. I'll probably, after this interview, fall over and pass out and have to go and hose myself down because my head will be on fire. But, I
think it's like all the great sci-fi stories have, worlds and environments you feel you could walk into and understand. What makes Bustle cool is that you're such an indie purist. It is just about the story. You didn't do it to branch out and make spin-offs. You didn't do it for merch. You just have a very pure love of the story.
Yeah.
Which I think is reflected in, comics with your dad, and you work with Tam and everything.
I think for me, one of the things that I'm influenced by a lot of different creators, but one in particular is David Lynch. Not just his films, but his paintings, his writings, his anything that he does, really. I mean, even his worldviews and what he's trying to do with transcendental meditation, like anything. Yeah. I mean, and one of the things that he believes in, and I think when I was a lot younger and I was searching for those creative entities to reach out to and, get a link to, was that you have to believe in a story. There is no point you can write an idea down and then 3 months later you're moving on to another story, you're doing something else. And in the space and in the space in the face of anyone that says to you, you can't do it. If you believe in it enough, you just have to keep going at it. And I've just stuck with that sort of wisdom, because realistically at the end of the day, man, I did start this for Dad. It probably has gone on a very long time, but now I sort of feel like, because I'm 44, and in when I turned 45, that's the same age that my dad passed away. So in a really strange way, Battle for Bustle is going to be finished one way or the other next year. So I guess in a strange way, the cycle, I'm hoping, will be finished. And then in its own strange way, I'll be able to free myself to a certain extent of this city and these characters, and then be able to move on to other things. So that's it's a bit of a weird journey. So I've never said that to anyone else. So you drew it out of me, Pete. Good question.
Well, it's great that we get to go along with it. It's great that we get to follow you on with it.
And I like the spinner rack too, buddy. I saw that last week.
Oh, yeah. How awesome is that?
So, question, Lee, you've had more interaction with international creators and all that sort of stuff recently as well.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a difference in either the style of the artwork or the storytelling or the way, you know, comics are promoted or created or anything? Have you noticed a difference between the Aussie community and the broader international community or US community? Has anything kind of struck you as, oh, they do it a bit differently over there, or it's, you know, we do this differently, or, you know?
I would say the only thing that separates us, man, quite honestly, and this is a cheesy answer, but is distance. And that's what I'm trying to encourage with being able to do this stuff with Dustin, is to be able to bring people together. Because regardless of, like, for me, man, honestly, I'm not going to sit here and critique people on their artwork or their writing and stuff like that. I purely admire people getting it in, sticking their head down, bums up, and getting it done, mate. And if they want to get out there and they want to promote themselves in any way they possibly can, then, I mean, I find admiration in that. That keeps me going. I've had, you know, like, I've met some ripper people. Yes, they do have different ways of promoting, but I mean, Morgan, you have a different way of promoting your stuff that I do. Do you know what I mean? I guess the one thing I'm learning is it's just whatever you're comfortable with. You know, it may be a different level of what you want to achieve. It may, you know, like, some people are still learning too. And I want to be one of those people now that, you know, I mean, I'm still only relatively new in the game, so I don't want to come across as, you know, an egotistical dickhead. But if I can put a hand out and someone's got questions for me, then I want to be able to do what the people that I've been lucky enough to have met and be able to pass on that information to them, mate, and, like, just keep bringing them up the steps. I mean, there's great people, man, all over the world doing this stuff. It doesn't matter whether you're indie, you're mainstream, whatever. I don't care. Like, for me, I just love the art form of comic books, man. And that is a great joy for me, is Saturday mornings with Dustin, meeting some of the coolest, craziest, wackiest people, man, that are just champions. And it's the same in the Australian comic community. Everyone's different. And if we, you know, my grandma said, man, if we were all the same, it'd be a fucking boring place, I tell you. So I enjoy, you know, like, meeting lots of people at this point, man. And I, encourage anyone, you know, and Ed Kearsley said it once on one of the shows, I believe. Shane will be able to tell me if I'm wrong here. Comics, just do it.
Yeah.
You know,
I think it was Draw. Yeah, comics as well. I think it was Draw, actually. Yeah.
Same thing, same diff. Yeah, it's one of those things that there's always hesitation when you're in a new area, or you're branching out, or you're trying to meet new people in the area. And there's always that fear of, it's a bit like, for anyone that's a musician, it's any instrument shop you've ever walked into ever. You walk in there and you just feel like you're sticking out like a sore thumb. They're all looking at you like you're an idiot, and you've come in to, like, learn and to buy a guitar, and you're not sure what to buy or all that, but you just get these glares of, like, and there's some dude with long hair at the back, you know, just riffing away, and, like,
slapping away on the bass, eh?
That's it, mate. Can I try that guitar? Yeah, mate, let me show you how it's done, bro. I'll do it, you know. And it's like, but you know, whereas, yeah, certainly I found the same thing with comics. There's such a small number of people that are like that. The vast majority of people only too happy to talk. They're passionate about it. It's their thing, and they love anyone, and they just love talking about it and seeing.
Well, passion is contagious, Morgan. You know, that it's contagious, man. And, like, when you meet people that are, you know, Peter Lane, champion, love his comic book. When you can, when you're passionate, it's a contagious thing, man. You know, and essentially it keeps you going. Look, man, again, like, I would encourage anyone, man, like, don't stop drawing, don't stop writing. You know, if that's what you want to do. I mean, the thing that annoys me is, you know, you get to a certain, as a child, you're encouraged to do these things, but you reach a certain point and then you're told to stop doing them because it's childish. It's like, it's absolutely ridiculous, mate. You know what I mean? Like, if you're passionate about something, then pursue the passion. Life's too short for, you know, like, for that, you know, to not. So, I guess, I don't know, man. As I said, I've had to change the lifestyle since the end of last year, and a lot of time to reflect, man, and a lot of time to look back on myself, man. And I've chosen to look on things a lot more positively, man. I'm not trying to reflect on negatives and stuff. You're always going to get negatives, but at the end of the day, no one can stop the work, mate. You put it out there, that's all you got to do. You just keep building blocks, man, and then eventually, the jigsaw starts becoming something, mate. So that's just what I'm trying to do.
And what do you do? I mean, obviously the podcast stuff with Dustin helps with this. But what are there things that you do or things that you go to when you reach that point where you just think, I got to do 3 pages by whenever, or I've got to get stuck in, and you're kind of drowning in it a little bit? Like, what are the places you go to for motivation, or just like I just need a bit of a kick to just get me back in gear? And are there kind of things that you do, or routines, or something like that?
No, not really. I just go down to the granny flat and I just start. Sometimes it takes a lot longer to start, but at the end of last year, I felt that I was I took on too much, and I think that every idea that someone, it's very nice to have people that want to work with you and have people that, have ideas and, do this, do that. But I felt like I'd spread myself too thin. I was also like a relatively heavy drinker and stuff like that. And I sort of, I burnt out. And that's why I sort of disappeared off the radar. I had shit that I had to sort out within myself because I lost my way. And I had to reprioritize. I had to cut back on some things that, other than drinking, but I had to cut back and refocus on what was important to me creatively and stuff. I'd lost sight of Bustle, and the reason why I started doing comic books. I had to find that again. Amidst that, though, I will say that probably the greatest pleasure I had last year, other than, meeting folks and stuff, was a magic little comic book idea that popped up called Ring Around the Rosie. It was the first time I'd ever worked with other people, and those other people, Ryan Vella, Spedsy, Rob Lyle, and Ben Sullivan. And I have found that to be one of the most amongst the things that happen with Bustle. That has been magic to me. Learning, working with other people, seeing how things, jamming, I guess, in a musical sense. You know what I mean? To see if you can make something of it, and just the way that it all came together so quick with no thinking, just organic, just 3 passionate dudes, needed to get a job done, did it, that in hindsight was a thing that changed me to the point where I think you definitely can't take on too much, because we've all got responsibilities in life too. And, if you take on too much on one thing, the other things drop, mate, like spinning too many plates, as Spedsy would say. But, a refocus has, encouraged me with, it's given me a full brim of energy, some time off, meeting new folks, seeing how they're motivated and stuff like that and what works for them, listening to advice that I've been getting. Obviously not, you take and you what you will, but, and just getting an admiration and just trying to rekindle a love, man, and not dwelling on negatives, not trying to please other people, but essentially trying to please myself with my creativity. And that's not to be egotistical, but at the end of the day, I can't worry whether other people like it. I've got to worry about whether I like it and whether I'm proud that this is the Battle for Bustle is a representation of me. And that's the attitude that I'm trying to get across now. So, just learning curves, man, really. But
Yeah.
I'm only new to it too. Hey, like it feels like I've been in it forever, but I haven't, man. You get your hits, and you get back up and you get back into it, and you learn as you go. And sometimes you got to bring it back to the simple answer: is what did you get into this for? Love, and something that I wanted to do for my dad. So. Essentially, you got to skin it back sometimes and go to the basics, and that's where I'm at currently in life now. So just slowing down, focusing on what's important for me.
100%. I completely identify with sometimes you get caught up in the excitement, you do too much, and then you think, hang on, I've been running for a while, I just need to just steady on, have a think.
Yeah.
What do I really want to do here? And that advice or what you were saying is one of the best pieces of advice, I think. People always ask about writer's block, and I've forgotten who said it, but the key to get around writer's block is just write. Just start. Just do it.
Yep.
Write anything. Doesn't matter how bad it is. Just write. Just do something. There was a philosopher named Slavoj Žižek, Lithuanian, I think, philosopher. He writes a huge amount of books. It's ridiculous how many, 4 or 5 books a year, and dense philosophy, that sort of stuff. His trick is, or it used to be anyway, in his apartment, he has a very small little desk with a computer on it, no chair at all. And so what he does is he tricks himself as he's walking past. He just sort of says, I'm not going to write a book. A book is too much. It's going to take too long. I'm too tired. I'm just going to write a sentence, just a sentence. That's all. And he's just standing there. I'm not even going to have a seat because I'm just going to do it for a minute. And he starts typing. Before you know it, 3 hours have gone by. He's got a buggered back, but he's written a heap, and it's that thing about, like you say, it might take a bit longer sometime, but you just got to sometimes just do it. Anyway, it's
about finding your own pace, Morgan. 100%. Like it's just no one runs the same speed. My God, man. I admire people that I've met. I sit there and I look at the output of their work, and I think, my God, how do you do that so quickly? And excitement is something, it's a good thing, but it can also, pull you a little bit thin, if you know what I mean. You have to just realize that for me, I'm a marathoner, man. Like I'm not a sprinter by any means. So, it's really just running to your own, marching to the beat of your own drum, mate, I guess. So it's, just trying, mate, just trying. So that's all I can do, mate, is just keep plodding along and doing my thing. So that's what I'm trying to do. Yes.
Sizzle.
You
got a question, buddy?
Yeah, I got a question. What the hell? I was thinking about this for a bit. So I'm going to bring up a piece of artwork. This wonderful collaboration that you've got going on in this particular book. I believe this is a multi-part story.
That's correct.
I'm wondering, are you open to doing more things like that? And is there anything that exclusive that's coming up? Is there anything going on? Is there anything,
look, there's a couple of things. I mean, there's a handful of things that are out there in the universe that, may be or may not. It's just one of those things. But I'll focus on what I do know. Ring Around the Rosie is, at this stage, a 3-part, 8-page each story. The first one was written by Spedsy. Great, excellent script. Penciled by myself, inked by Ryan Vella. The second part, Ring Around the Rosie, again written by Spedsy. The second part is penciled by Ben Sullivan, inked by me. The third part will be penciled by Ryan Vella and inked by Ben Sullivan. And at that stage, that will, I guess, Spedsy can, it's again, an organic thing. It's, that was the idea at this point, but that can definitely pushed off into whatever we want. Because we just all enjoy the character. I love that character, man. Like, I don't ever want to give up Rosie. Shit, like that is, I love that character. I'm doing a script with Tamera at the moment called No Stars, and it is only a script. I'm not doing the artwork. That is a project that I'm doing for Dustin with Ethereal Comics. He's wanted to, obviously do more together than our Saturday shows. So going to have a little dabble in that, and that script will be going out to an artist that I have contacted, and I won't mention any names. It is purely up to that artist whether they are interested in doing it or not. Yay or nay, there is no pressure on that particular individual. And at this stage, issue 5 for Battle for Bustle, all the artwork is done. I'm sitting down on the weekend to paint the cover. Script's done, just needs lettering done. Again, not in any rush. Tamera is very busy. I'm busy. Artwork, just finding pace and just pursuing and pushing on through, the little things. And probably doing a few more things with Ryan Valor along the way, because I love working with Ryan. So it's always try and fit things in with Ryan. But he's a busy man too at the moment. So, but things take.
That's great. Gella's inking on Ring Around the Rosie is amazing because it makes the art look like 1300s wood carvings, the woodblock carvings you'd see back in the day.
Yeah.
It really struck me, and that really lends itself nicely to the story. I thought, nice little link.
Mate, that Ryan and I we're mates, and we've just got an appreciation for each other's artwork, and we've been sort of talking about doing some stuff together, and Ring Around the Rosie came up very organically. And Spedsy had the script and everything, and that was the first time that I'd ever actually seen anyone ink my artwork before. So I was new to that. And I was nervous as hell doing those pencils, because you sort of think, these are the learning things too. Have I detailed it enough? Have I done too much detail? Because Ryan won't be able to put his swing, into it. I've got to leave room. So, you start, and then in the end, you just go, got to breathe, man, breathe, just chill and do what you think is right. And always showed Spedsy. That dude out there saw everything from thumbnails through to rough sketches, through the whole lot, man. And so did Ryan. And then when it got to a point, it was just like, Ryan, he's ready to go. And, man, that dude was pumping those pages out quicker than I could blink. Like, those actual pages are all on paper. Ryan has them. So I actually did them on A3 paper here, mailed them to Ryan, and Brian all Rigididge Indian inked and painted over the top of them. So there's no digital recreation of any artwork, only changing sizes of panels that fit pages and all that sort of jive. But yeah, so that was a great experience, man. I loved it. Waking up some days and Brian's been up all night, inking these pages, and I was like, what the fuck? Oh, whoa! It's crazy stuff. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. So, no, that was great, man. I love that moment. So it was really good. But I'm getting some good stuff too at the moment. Let me tell you, with Ben Sullivan, man, he's spinning me out with some of his artwork too. So
yeah, Ben's incredible.
Actually, yeah, Spedsy, don't get up me. There you go. That's a page for Ring Around the Rosie Part 2, penciled by Ben Sullivan and inked by me. So
that's awesome. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, so we're in the middle of that. So yeah, so
sit
good
down,
times.
Sit down.
All right. So I can't ask you the trademark question before we get to the gifts section. So I've got to do a new one because you've already gone through the McDonald's drive-through. So you're in a room for 3 days. You're on your own. you have one piece of furniture that you can have. What's that piece of furniture?
Ooh.
Oh, that's a toughie.
I wouldn't say I'd want a piece of furniture, but I would like two things. I'd like a pad and a pencil because I've got a floor where I can lay on it and I can draw away and write away on that. So don't worry about the furniture. I'm a simple man.
True to your art. As long as you've got the art, you don't need anything else.
That's right.
All right. Top answer. All right. So we're at the gift giving section. Apologies in advance. So actually, Peter, we got to figure out what we do with you with this, because that's kind of cheating if you do this as well, because you're like an artist. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. We'll try and figure out what we can do.
It just means his will be great and ours will look really
I know. That's what I'm worried about. Ours will look like crap compared to that. So
I think you'll be right. Last time Sizzle just gave me more of a time restriction.
Maybe you can just do it blind or something. You've got to do it without looking. All right.
Maybe a patch. A patch. Do it with
one eye. No perspective. All right. So this is from issue 1. This is the main man. There we go.
Oh, nice.
Thank you, Morgan.
Yeah.
That is excellent. I love it. Christopher Battle.
Yes, the man himself.
And I can actually do something really, really dodgy.
Oh.
And it's very good for the environment. It's called recycling. So I get to show my picture twice.
Oh, nice. Have you got it there?
From last time.
Hey, look at that.
I still love it. It's great. Hey, look at that.
If Hanson was holding
detail
100
there, Shane.
pens instead of 100 guns, could he write 100 different novels? Or would it just be the same novel 100 times?
I mean, he could. I mean, that could be something he transitions into in the old age, I suppose. You know, you know, an awful lot of keyboards.
I love that character. But I didn't do Bustle. I opted for Marathon.
Oh man. Oh, you suck, dude. This is terrible. It's so good. You're going to ruin it for us. Oh, man, that's so good.
Nonsense.
That is awesome.
Oh, that's amazing. That's so cool.
That is you're going to have to do it for all three of us, I think. That'll be the rule. Oh, wow. That was fantastic.
Thank you very much for that.
Pleasure.
Well, thank you, Leigh. It's been a pleasure talking to you as always. We look forward to more Battle of Bustle, Rosie Round the Ringer, Rosie, Marathon, everything that's coming our way. And when I'm especially excited about the potential of a gathered art book or something like that would be amazing. And I would be the first person at the front of the line trying to get ahead of Sizzle to grab it.
I was going to say, what? You're at the front? I don't think so.
I am working on it, mate. So it'll eventually get awesome. In there.
That is so exciting. Cool. Anything you guys want to say before we go to the next section?
Oh, can A1 blink?
No.
Okay, cool.
Wow.
That is
good question.
That's the torture, I guess. You know, like is the fact that he can't blink, so can't sleep. Can't do anything. So essentially, you know, it's a bit of a case of without these things, you sort of tend to go a little bit mad, I guess. So I always thought that made for a good villain, you know. You've got to have that little bit of madness, but what would make you annoyed, you know, and it'd be very annoying. Like when I was a young fella, my grandma always used to say to me, don't sit so close to the TV, your eyes will go square. So I always remembered that. So when I was, I guess, coming up with a villain, I thought, square eyes, used to get dry. What else could be good? Oh, wires in the eyes, you know, like that sort of thing. And then it just, you know, developed into A1. So
very striking.
Remember, kids, don't sit too close to the TV or you'll become A1.
That's what happens.
Well, before we go to the next section, I just want to go, Morgan,
Yeah.
Apparently, you need to pick up your game. I don't know what that's.
Oh, thanks, Peter. Thanks a lot. I got more work to do.
You got more work to do.
I got my work. I'm out of practice. Damn it. That's a fair
Sorry, I just
point.
had to throw that up there. I think it's a typo, but it was hilarious. Cool. Well, thanks, Leigh. Much appreciated for coming in tonight. It was great to chat with you again. And those books, wow, and wow. I'm looking forward to seeing them collected into something. That would be friggin' awesome. So I guess we're off to the next part of the show. See you later, Leigh.
Thank you,
Thanks
guys.
again.
Take care. Lovely talking
Thanks,
to you
Leigh.
again.
Have a good one, mate.
Oh, sorry. There was a drum in there. Okay, who wants to go first?
I'll go.
We're fighting for it. Well, if
you
we're
go.
fighting for it, I fight
You go.
first. I'm going with a brand.
Oh, don't you
spanking
dare.
new one.
Don't.
Are you sluggish as well? Oh no!
You're all right. You're all right. You go. You go.
I've never been so happy to not have my copy yet.
Rob would love it. 3 sluggishes. So, or sluggish, whatever. Sluggishy. Slug eye, yeah. I'll just zoom in so everyone can see the cover. This is hard to do.
Beautiful cover work.
Zooming in on yourself. Sluggish by Spedsy or Rob Lyle, as some know him. Not many. You almost freaked me out then. So I just got it's upside down in the background. Someone trying to freak me out while I'm doing it. Oh, Morgan's was upside down. Oh, sorry.
Mine was. I was flustered.
Well, I'll keep this short so
Yeah.
that Morgan can say more about the writing, because I have no writing skills. I have no drawing skills. I just freaking love comics. So at the end of the day, same can be said about this. I freaking love comics. This was awesome. Because I don't have the skills, I can't put into words what makes it so awesome. All I can tell you is get it. Depression, slugs, and anxiety. It's more fun than it sounds like, and it's less fun than it sounds like. So it's it's just great. That's all I can say. I loved it. Loved every bit of it. I don't want to say any more because I don't want to even hint at spoiling it. So awesome.
Get it.
Get it. Now Morgan will give you an intellectual version of that.
No, I was just going to say it's awesome. Go get it. I can't speak highly enough of it. It's fantastic. I'll use another one now that you've stolen my thunder. But yeah, Sluggish is amazing. It's great. Yeah, you go if you want, Peter, and then I'll come in and.
I look forward to agreeing when I get my copy, Spedsy. I found this cool little gem in a bookshop in Maitland, Australian writer, I believe, an artist. Very cool little cyberpunk story.
Oh, nice.
Sweet.
It's about a dude who gets into an accident, so the insurance company gives him a little robot body to rent, a little loaner.
Oh,
nice.
It's a very, very simple story, but it's just really cool done. It's just really nice. He finds out he's a part of a terrorist plot.
Oh,
wow.
And the art is really cool. Nice ink washes.
It's really nice art.
Yeah.
By New Reliable Press. It looks like this was printed in the US. 2009. And set in a dystopian Frankfurt.
There you go.
So if you can find that anywhere, I highly recommend it. The art is stunning. It's
Awesome.
a really cool little story. It reads very quick, but I was very pleased to have found that.
Nice. Well, I will go all of the vamooses.
Nice.
Hey,
Gee, did that come in the same package?
Oh, no. I've had this for ages.
Oh, for ages.
Robots and all sorts of artworks. Oh, fantastic. It's stories and such. Oh, this is hard to do. Yeah, it looks amazing. I haven't started reading it yet, but I'm going to get tucked into that one shortly. So again,
good stuff in that one.
Fantastic stuff. Yeah, and I love the concept. I just love the idea of picking a random weird topic and then writing comics and short stories about it. Oh, and even look at the toilette and such.
Oh, yes, that was awesome.
Yeah,
the floater disturbs me a little, but I'll get over it.
And the the little. So big thanks, Spedsy.
I've got the cards. They're sick.
Yeah, really cool.
And I've got some pages and things. So enjoy.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so that's it for me. I have one shameless promotion because I always have a shameless promotion for those that are interested in what are they called? Novels. The ones with words.
What is this
many words.
That's just half
my
a
book.
comic.
The Seven Hungers is out now. It's on special, if that's a thing that we call it, for the next week. 99 cents for the digital version and $10 for that.
Oh wow, cool
version. It's got words in it and stuff, and not many pictures. So anyone that's interested, go to Amazon or go to morganquaid.com and you can pick yourself up a copy there if you enjoy reading words.
Hell yeah.
Well, we're doing self-promotions. I'm going to have to throw this up. Nice little short one.
Excellent timing.
So just remind me, Spedsy, what's the cost around Australia for postage for people that want to buy as many comics as they can?
Spedsy?
Sorry. Sizzle.
Sorry, I could have just flowed with it, but I decided to pull you up on it instead.
I've got toilets on the brain.
It's $9.
$9. That's all. Flat price.
ComX Shop. Flat rate.
I tell you what, people, that sounds like a good deal. Yeah.
Nice, Morgan. I called you Morgan. Did you notice that? Not Spedsy.
Yeah.
Morgan.
Yeah. Okay, so I forget names and dates and stuff and things.
All those
None of that's
S's.
important.
Yeah.
Cool. Oh, and I've forgotten the other thing I was going to say. Let's just pretend I said it. Excellent. Okay. Good show.
Peter, is there anything you want to throw out there? Well, we're promoting ourselves.
What have I got? I've got some stories coming up in ComX Presents. The next couple of issues of that. And that's the only thing that's coming out relatively soon for me.
Oh, yeah, cool.
And when's that coming out? The next ComX Presents?
Presents 3 is all being packaged up as we speak to the right of me. So that will be, although, are you in that? I can't remember. Hang on. Yes, you are. Of course you are. Yeah. What am I saying? Yeah, of course you are. But 4, the Kickstarter for it will start once that's all gone.
Cool.
Sweet.
Once that's all out, we'll start the Kickstarter for 4. Issue 4.
Sweet.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Very cool.
So, I've decided to not rush it and just
good idea.
Get one thing sorted before moving on to the next thing, because I have this bad habit of trying to do everything at once. And next thing you know, I'm in hospital for a month. So not doing that anymore.
Yeah, let's avoid that.
One at a time. That sounds good.
Now, the outro only has 2 of us. So instead of the normal outro, we start with Battle for Bustle 1. So let's go out on a little promo for Battle for Bustle 4, which is currently out at ComX Shop. Oh, he throws it in there.
Nice.
So yeah, good night, everyone. Thanks for joining us. And see you next week. Same AusComX channel, same AusComX time. Oh, God. One day I'll get it right. Night, all.
Bye.
See you guys. Wait.